Some of you guys are really awesome. So let's mention, of course, a big shout out to the sponsors of the event. You can see them down there: ISO, Logitech, Kingston HyperX, and also Twitch, as a not only helping out with broadcasting, but also as a sponsor for the event. We're going to jump into this PvP game number one between Fnatic, our Fnatic player, who is up at the top left-hand side. Here is our blue Protoss. Of course, we are talking of NightEnd. NightEnd, a Romanian player, used to play a bit of Warcraft 3, as many of you folks over there in Central EU love to do. He played Undead in Warcraft 3, if I'm not mistaken. And we'll see how he goes here. Of course, a very top-end level Protoss player. We get to see him every now and then at some of these events, and he is normally someone that does get around and does a pretty decent job. He actually did attempt to play in... he attempted to play in GSTL, but unfortunately was not able to. It was with TSL back in the day. And he... Oh, no, sorry. He played against... when we had GSTL Season 2, Fnatic sent out NightEnd against Shine from TSL. And he was not able to take him out, unfortunately. So we see our second player down at the bottom right-hand side here. I will fix up the overlays in just a second, guys. Stick with me. I've got to, of course, introduce the players and that kind of stuff. Down at the bottom right-hand side is our Swedish Protoss player by the name of RunA. RunA was a pretty decent player in parts of Wings of Liberty. And, of course, he was in Inferno Esports. And then moved across to, we can now see him in Team Property. I believe someone was saying that he was also part of one of the other, like, smaller sort of groups or clans or whatever. Alright, let me just fix this overlay for you guys. So we have NightEnd. And then RunA. What color is RunA? Pink. Alright, we're all good here. Sorted it all out. Alright, so we can see that RunA has started us out with a double gas, as well as NightEnd doing a similar sort of thing. Both players adding in and subtracting some of their probes to their gases. So this is, again, a very important part. P is how much gas you have right at the start. PvP is a matchup where well, sorry, just playing Protoss in general is a bit of a it's a bit of a race where your gas sort of fluctuates as to how much you need it. Right at the start, you need a lot of gas. You need to get out the mothership core. You need the warp gate tech. You also need a stalker or a sentry or something like that to help you with the initial defensive presence on the map. And we can see here that NightEnd is continually scouting what's going on. If he gets a look on what this second unit that comes out of RunA is, he'll be very happy with that, because it'll help out with him detecting what's going on. So he sees it is a sentry, which means that it is going to be a quick expansion build here from RunA. So we see our Protoss player. Our Protoss from Sweden is going to throw down a quick expansion. Meanwhile, for NightEnd, he's looking to do something a little bit more standard. He's going for a quick Twilight Council here with the option, and in fact, I'm pretty sure we're going to get it, of Blink Stalkers is probably what we're going to see out of NightEnd here. So he's going to try and take advantage of the fact that RunA is going for a very quick expansion. So he's got his 3 gates up. Blink Tech is going to start straight away. He's just going to probably get that in a second. Well, maybe not straight away, but right now. 1, 2, 3, go. There you go. Alright, cool. And we'll see how RunA is going to deal with this. The thing about these Blink Stalkers is that there is quite a bit of space to jump into. You can come through the top side here. There's a little bit of space to dive into there. You can also just flat out come through the front door. But there's also a tiny bit of space back here at the back of the natural as well. But we'll see if RunA is going to be able to defend this natural expansion, because now that the Nexus is finished, he's going to be dealing with these Stalkers that are going to come across very, very soon. We'll see if he will be able to deal with this. The mothership core finally on the way. Now, The reason you want this Mothership Core is that it helps with getting that high ground vision. You need to have the high ground to jump into this position up in here, and we'll see what RunA is going to do about this, because the hallucinated Phoenix is now just scouting through. We'll see that the Twilight Council is being chrono boosted. Meanwhile, for our Fnatic player NightEnd, he's now coming through. He's got a sentry here to help with any sort of like an extra little bit of damage, but RunA very cleverly shuts NightEnd down with that Planetary Nexus Fortress of Doom, and it looks like it will force NightEnd back just for the moment here. Our Romanian player is going to have to fall back a little bit. RunA perhaps pushing a little bit too far there, but I think, yeah, RunA should be okay, but the big issue is actually having enough units out to defend against this. But here we go, an Immortal has now come out, and this really helps out with RunA's defense of this expansion. I really like the build that he has done here. As long as he can target down some of those Stalkers with the Immortal, he should be okay. But it looks like we'll get the Mothership Core coming through, spotting what's going on. He should see the Immortal, and he should be very careful about what he does here. Sentry number 1 goes down, trying to snipe off Sentry number 2. Does get it, nicely done. Blink back from NightEnd, nicely done. And RunA sitting comfortably. A second Immortal is now out, and things are looking pretty decent for RunA right now. There is no more production coming out of NightEnd at this point. He looks like he's trying to get some damage done. The Mothership Core goes down, and that really hurts NightEnd at this point. Without any high ground vision, he's going to be struggling to blink inside the main, if he can even get past these Immortals and these Blink Stalkers. So RunA in a very strong position right now. He's got the Immortals, he's got these Stalkers as well, and NightEnd really needs to... He needs like some kind of crazy thing to happen here for him to be able to sort of actually get in and take this. It looks like he comes forward. The Immortal's actually targeting down Zealots there. Not the greatest of micro from RunA, but he does come back, targets down the Stalkers, and that is probably going to be it for NightEnd, as he is forced to pull back for the moment. Gonna warp in some Stalkers, and he'll probably look to try and set up a natural expand or something like that. But I mean, when you're in this position, your opponent already has their natural nexus down. They've got their work account slowly but surely increasing. It means that you're going to be in a very, very tough position. So RunA, as you can see, getting more and more bold, trying to push out. And I think that, yeah, down goes the pylon, and for the moment, it looks as if our Romanian Protoss is going to have to fall back for the moment. There's not really any damage that he can get done now that there are 3 Immortals. They do an excellent amount of damage against those Stalkers because they have that bonus amount against Armored, and as we can see, yeah, just he should be able to just push back these Stalkers and slowly make his way across. One thing which we would like to see from RunA is a pylon set up somewhere across the map. Maybe just somewhere sort of over here, just around the side, maybe up in this corner as well. And then he can come across and maybe get some damage done. But NightEnd, he's going to take his job to try take a shot at getting inside the main base. He does make it in. The forces of RunA are way behind. They're across at the natural base. Targets down some probes. He's actually getting a decent amount of probe kills right now. 4 workers killed. It's obviously not a massive amount, but he has done a little bit of work there. And shift-click blinks his way out of the base. Suffers no real damage there, but he did take out a couple of probes. Did some damage to a few of the other ones there. So now I think NightEnd has made the good decision. He's trying to get this natural base up, and you're wondering, well, how can he try and get back into this when he's so far behind? The only real way to do it at this point is to make some good, get some good harassment going by utilizing the fact that the forces of RunA are a little bit immobile with the fact that they don't have blink just yet. But as we can see, RunA is now researching Blink, so he's going to have that very soon. +1 weapons now on the way for RunA as well. I like that decision to get that very quickly. And we see a Stalker go down. Looks like back at home for NightEnd. Robo Bay on the way. Robo Facility pumping out an Immortal, so he does have a little bit of defense here alongside the Sentries and the Zealots. Looks like NightEnd is just going to sit back for the moment. He's just trying to check out what's going on. He can see the Forge spinning up there inside the main. The Twilight Council is about to finish up its disco here with the lights shining bright. And, well, NightEnd, he's bought himself a little bit of time, which is not too bad at all. But we can see that the Immortal count is now up to 4. There is that... oh, no, that's not a probe. I thought that was going to be a probe, but it seems as if RunA is going to send out the probe a little bit later than he would normally should. I would have expected a probe to come out from him by now, but looks as if RunA is now going to try and make his way across the map. He's just scouting out what's going on. He can see a few units inside the main base and the natural as well. There is an Immortal, a Mothership core with a lot of energy. And this could actually just sort of switch back into a little bit of a macro game here between these two players, because RunA's now going to fall back, and as this game slowly goes on, his advantage on the ground is slowly going to dissipate. We can see that the Immortal count from NightEnd has increased to 2, he's got his first Colossus now on the way, and even a second Robo is being constructed. So RunA, you know, I kind of feel like he probably should have pushed back across the map there, but it seems as if he's just content to play out a macro game here. And now that he has a couple more gates in operation, we've got a Robo Bay here as well. Both of these players are going to take us into a macro PvP match consisting of a lot of Colossi. We can see, where is that Zealot going? Alright, he's just heading over there. But it looks like we are going to switch into the Colossus Wars, which I know a lot of Protoss players post in the chat if you think the Colossus Wars were a bit boring back in PvP. I certainly did, but it looks as if both these players are quite happy to go into double Robo production to get their Colossus out, and once the count starts to increase, we'll see if NightEnd is able to do something. But he does have a couple of Immortals here. We have a single Colossus now on the way for NightEnd. He's now finally getting his third base up. It is going to be a little bit further behind RunA, but we'll see if RunA is going to be able to hold this, because this could be a very difficult position for RunA to hold. We see these Stalkers blink back. That may have been a little bit too far for them, but NightEnd is also just coming through as well. RunA is now blinked forward. He's got his... This is actually really awkward position for RunA. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of how late he was to come inside and attack this. NightEnd moving down the southern side, he's exposed a very small portion, and with the kill on the Nexus, recalls out, "Peace, I am out of here," he says, and heads back home to the main base. So this is, yeah, I can see some of you guys talking about the lasers in this matchup, and it is certainly turning into a bit of a laser game between these two players. Colossi constantly coming out. We can see that the Colossus count of RunA is currently sitting at 3. He does have the Colossus advantage, and we'll see if he's going to take that into account as he moves out. The second and third Colossus now just linking up with the rest of the ground forces here, and RunA, I really think this is time to move. He either needs to just go straight for the throat, perhaps try and come in here and take advantage of this large surface area of this natural, or he has to get this Nexus down, because, I mean, he's lost his own, which... when your opponent isn't actually mining at theirs for a little while, it's not too bad, but I mean, the issue is that very soon, NightEnd is going to have a little bit extra chrono. He's going to have the ability to get some more probes out and get mining there as well. We can see the worker count currently sitting at 55 to 54, so it's actually quite even at this point. And yeah, I think RunA is about to move in. He wants to get his own damage done, doesn't have enough energy for a recall, so he doesn't have the same sort of potential to dive in, do a drive-by attack on the Nexus, and then recall out. So we'll see what he's going to do here. This is a very, very careful engagement from RunA. He has to be so careful, because there is a lot of surface area in this choke point. We can see that NightEnd just walking through that position here. If you try and attack into that where you've got this little choke point, you can get caught from all sides there. So I think wisely, RunA's going to back out, not commit to the fight, but he is going to continue on the Colossus production back at home. So this is sort of, moving into a really, you know, a very traditional sort of old school Wings of Liberty style PvP, where both the players are just going to sit back. They're going to get a lot of upgrades out. We've got the Colossus count slowly increasing. We can see RunA is currently sitting at 5 Colossi, where his opponent NightEnd is currently also sitting at 5. And this is a weird, well, not a weird part. This is a situation where some players will start to transition back into Immortals. Now, you may be wondering, why would you switch across back into Immortals here? Well, when it gets to a certain point, Colossi sort of, they lose a little bit of their effectiveness, but if you have Immortals out, they can tank a little bit of damage, they can blast apart the Stalkers, they can also do a lot of damage to Colossi, but I do like this decision from RunA. He's going to start adding in Archons here, and they also do a very similar kind of job. So, it looks like NightEnd content to sit on the 3 bases for the moment. Double Colossi coming out. Upgrades on the way. We can see the upgrade count is sitting at +3 for weapons on RunA, so he's got a very nice lead in that department, but he doesn't have any armor upgrades. Now, for those of you who don't play PvP, armor upgrades don't matter as much in this particular matchup. The big thing you want to get is the weapons upgrade, and that's why I think that RunA has made the correct decision to quickly take up to the +3 on the armor, on the weapon upgrades here, because weapon upgrades affect your big power units like your Colossi, like your Archons, and that really adds a lot of potential to your army here. So we can see that the army count of RunA currently sitting at 134, and then you factor in that RunA has +3 to weapons on all of these Colossi. 8 Colossi are now out for the Swedish Protoss. We can see that our Romanian Protoss currently has 6 Colossi, and it's about to get crazy here. I think a War of the Worlds laser battle is about to occur. We can see a couple of time warps going down, lasers all over the place. It is incredible what's going on right now. RunA slowly burning down the forces of NightEnd, but a couple of Colossi stuck at the back, not doing as much damage as he could be doing. And the big factor here is that RunA is in a very small choke point, and his Colossi are all choked up, but as you can see, +3 to weapons, just hugely factored in there, and a GG well played for NightEnd. So